Hey guys, so today we are going to describe the third and last group of muscles of this module, the muscles of the leg. So let's start by telling you that you're going to find on Blackboard the long list of muscles included on this section and the surface anatomy landmarks. Again, practice with your charts. Okay, let's review the muscles, the movement that are uh, allowed at the ankle, intertarsal, and interphalangeal joints. Okay, so at the talocrural joint, remember between the talus, one of the tarsal bones, and crural, tibia, and fibula. So that's pretty much your ankle. What's this level, at this joint? Where are the movements allowed in here? Plantar flexion, like walking as a ballerina in your tippy toes. Then you have dorsiflexion, walking on your heels. Then we have on the intertarsal bones. These movements are happening in the joints between the tarsal bones, okay? We have eversion, moving your sole laterally, and inversion, moving your soles toward the sole of your feet towards the midline. Now, movements of the toes. I think this is easy. That is, that is the flexion of the toes, and then extension and hyperextension of the toes. Hyperextension can also be called extension, remember. Okay, ready with the movements. This is to remember one more time. Remember, the muscles that are crossing the hip are going to move the thigh. The muscles crossing the knee joint are going to move the leg. So today we're going to describe the muscles that are crossing the ankle and they are moving the foot and toes. Okay. We have described in previous classes the compartments of the thigh, right? And we said that the deep fascia, the fascia latae, divides the thigh in three compartments: anterior, posterior, and medial to the femur. So we have those three compartments. The same fascia latae descends towards the leg and create three compartments as well. But instead of having anterior, lateral, and medial, now we're going to have anterior, medial, and lateral. Anterior, posterior, and lateral. So in here we have, this is the tibia, this is the fibula, and see how it descends these gray membranes in here that's supposed to be the fascia, okay, the fascia latae. So posterior to these bones, all of these is the posterior compartment. Okay, the thing is that we have a deep and a superficial posterior layer of muscles in the posterior compartment. Anterior, and it's more, as you can see, anterolateral, but it's called the anterior compartment of the muscles of the leg are in front of the tibia and fibula. And lateral to the fibula, we're going to find the lateral compartment, okay? So in both, in the thigh and the leg, we have anterior and posterior compartments. The difference is that on the thigh, we have the medial compartment to adduct the thighs, and on the leg, we have the lateral compartment. Now, this is the cross-section that you have in your books. Again, this is the tibia, this is the fibula, this is posterior, this is anterior, and this is lateral. Now, in the anterior compartment, all of these muscles, imagine, all of these muscles or the tendons of these muscles are going to cross the joint, the ankle joint, anteriorly in the front, and it's going to insert in the tarsal, intertarsal bones, or in the phalanges. Okay, so just like, again, like a string. Imagine a string placed in your foot and like this, and then you're gonna pull it and the other end is attaching your leg. Okay, when you pull it, you're going to Let me move this there. Okay, I have a string in there and a string, one end on my foot and the other end on my leg. When I pull it, I'm going to plantar flex. See? Plantar flex. So that's the action of all the muscles of the anterior compartment of the leg. All of them are going to dorsiflex the foot. And if they attach to the phalanges, they're going to extend the toes. Okay? Now, on the posterior contralateral compartment, not contralateral, in the opposite compartment, so we have the posterior muscles. Remember, they are divided into layers, a deep and a superficial layer. And of course, they have opposite actions. They are antagonists of the anterior muscles, right? So if the anterior muscles dorsiflex, the posterior ones are going to plantar flex the foot and flex the toes. So again, look at the muscle on attaching somewhere on the tibia or fibula, and look at the tendons crossing posteriorly the ankle joint to insert in any of the bones here on the foot. When you lift, when you contract this muscle, you can lift the heel, okay? And that is plantar flexion and flexion of the toes. You're like pulling them backwards, okay? Then on the lateral compartment, we have a group of muscles, very tiny compartment of muscles located on the lateral side, and they cross the articulation, the ankle joint laterally. So when they, and we will describe the tendons then, but when you contract or, when you contract or shorten this muscle, you're pulling this side of the foot up, okay? And that is called eversion. Eversion. Where is it here? Eversion of the foot. Okay. They also plantar flex the foot. So as you can see, all the muscles on the posterior and lateral compartment can plantar flex the foot. The only ones that dorsiflex are in the anterior compartment. Okay. Extension of the foot of the toes. Anterior compartment, flexion of the toes, posterior compartment. Eversion is on the lateral compartment. Inversion are in both anterior and posterior. We will see that later. Innervation. The anterior compartment completely is innervated by the deep fibular nerve. We mentioned this before, if you remember. It's a branch, remember, of the common fibular nerve. So we have the sciatic nerve, it has the tibial and the common fibular, and the common fibular gives rise to the deep and the superficial fibular nerve. The deep fibular nerve innervates the anterior compartment. The superficial fibular nerve innervates the lateral compartment. And the tibial nerve, as the rest of the posterior compartment of thigh and legs, is innervated by the tibial nerve. Okay? So, in conclusion, muscles crossing anteriorly the ankle are going to dorsiflex and extend the foot. They originate somewhere on the tibia, attach somewhere on the foot. When you pull them, you dorsiflex or extend the toes. These are the examples: tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, extensor hallucis longus, and fibularis tertius. This is taken from the list of muscles that we're going to discuss, or that we're covering. The muscles crossing posteriorly the ankle joint, so again, they originate somewhere on the tibia and fibula, and they're going to pass posteriorly through or over the ankle joint to insert somewhere on the foot. When you contract this muscle, you're going to perform now plantar flexion and flexion of the toes. And here are the muscles that we're going to describe that have these actions: plantar flexion and flexion of toes. Triceps suri, which consists of 3 muscles, we'll see later: tibialis posterior, plantaris, flexor digitorum, flexor, digitorum longus, hallucis longus, fibularis brevis, and fibularis longus. As you can see, the flexors of the digits are in the posterior compartment. The extensor of the digits are in the anterior compartment. So see you in the next video. We're going to break everything down now. So maybe after that, you can replay this video and you're going to understand everything I have said. See you later, alligator.